All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive on how to prep for an animal artificial insemination technician interview.
Okay.
You're probably already pretty familiar with the whole world of animal reproduction, if you're at this point, and the just vital role that these technicians play.
Right.
We've got a bunch of great resources from RoleCatcher that can help you nail this interview.
Yeah.
They've got career guides, interview guides, and even some really cool AI tools that can help you fine-tune your answers.
It's a field that is just becoming more and more in demand.
Oh, for sure.
With such a big focus on sustainable livestock practices and, ensuring genetic diversity in animal populations.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Important.
RoleCatcher's career guide actually brings up some really interesting points about the different settings that you could work in.
Yeah.
You could work on farms, you can work in research facilities, all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a pretty diverse field.
It's really cool. And this job, it's so clear that it needs a really unique blend of technical know-how, but also hands-on animal handling skills.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the heart of this deep dive, which is the interview itself.
Right.
RoleCatcher's interview guide has a ton of really realistic scenario questions, and it really breaks down what interviewers are looking for when they ask these questions. What's really cool is that RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your answers.
Wow.
And give you feedback that is specific to the job role that you're going for.
That's amazing.
It's like having your own personal interview coach.
It's true. The AI is really insightful, and it picks up on these subtle things in the way you're talking, and it'll be like, oh, you should emphasize these skills or this experience because it seems like that's what this employer is looking for.
So cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some of these sample interview questions.
Okay.
One of the classic ones you're going to hear is, can you describe your experience with animal reproduction?
Yeah, this is where you're going to want to bring up any relevant coursework, any internships or hands-on experiences you've had working with animals.
And don't forget about volunteering, even if you haven't officially had a role in animal reproduction, volunteering at an animal shelter or helping out on a farm. That can really demonstrate your passion.
Absolutely.
For working with animals.
Definitely. The key is to highlight experiences that showcase that you understand how to care for them, how to handle them, and even basic reproductive processes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And be honest, interviewers can tell if you're exaggerating.
Oh, yeah.
They're more interested in your genuine interest or your willingness to learn than a perfectly crafted answer.
For sure.
Okay. So moving on to question 2. This one focuses on animal safety. How do you ensure the safety and well-being of animals during artificial insemination procedures?
With this one, you really want to show that you are committed to ethical practices and that you get how to keep the animals stress-free during the procedures.
Right. Yeah. You're going to want to talk about the safety protocols you follow. Like using sterile equipment, properly restraining the animal and just monitoring their vital signs.
Think about what the interviewer is thinking. They want to see that the animal's well-being is your top priority.
Yeah.
And that you understand how important humane treatment is in this field.
Absolutely. And a possible follow-up question that they could ask is, what would you do if an animal showed signs of distress during a procedure?
Oh, yeah. Good one.
So they're looking for your problem-solving skills here.
Exactly. They want to know if you can stay calm, think on your feet,
Yep.
and make sure the animal is safe.
Exactly. All right, so question 3. How do you stay current on advancements in animal reproductive technology? This is a constantly evolving field.
Yeah.
So it's really important to show that you're dedicated to constantly learning.
Right. You could mention going to conferences or reading scientific journals or taking continuing education classes.
Oh, yeah.
It shows that you're eager to be the best in the field.
Yeah, for sure. So what are some resources that you would recommend if somebody wanted to dive into those advancements?
Well, there are some great professional organizations like the National Association of Animal Breeders and the Society for Theriogenology.
Okay.
They have awesome resources and networking opportunities.
Fantastic. Okay, so this next question might seem pretty straightforward.
Correct.
But it's really important to get it right. Can you walk me through the steps of an artificial insemination procedure?
Yeah, this one is technical.
Yeah.
The interviewers are going to be listening for accuracy and a clear understanding of the process you want to explain each step, starting with semen collection and evaluation,
Right.
moving on to the insemination techniques, and ending with post-procedure care.
And RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool can be super helpful to practice this answer.
Yeah.
Because it'll actually analyze your response and highlight any areas where you might not be clear, or you could give more details.
It can even suggest different ways to structure your answer so that you cover all the steps, but in a logical way that's easy to understand.
That's awesome. All right. So this next one is going to dig a little deeper into your experience. Can you describe a difficult artificial insemination procedure you have performed and how you overcame any challenges? This question is all about showcasing your problem-solving skills and your ability to think on your feet.
Right. Pick a specific example where you had to overcome something.
Yeah.
Whether that's an animal that wouldn't cooperate or equipment malfunction or just something you didn't expect.
Yep.
And explain how you handled it.
And focus on the solution, not the problem. Don't dwell on what went wrong, but talk about the steps you took to fix it and the good outcome you achieved.
They might follow up by asking, what did you learn from this experience?
Oh, yeah.
And this is a good time to show that you're always trying to learn from your mistakes and improve your skills.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so question 6 is about attention to detail. How do you maintain accurate records of artificial insemination procedures?
This one might seem simple, but it's so important. Yeah. Accurate record keeping is key for tracking the animal's health, their genetics. And it helps make sure you're following the industry rules.
You're going to want to mention the methods you use, like software spreadsheets or even handwritten logs. Just show them that you're committed to being accurate and you understand that all the documentation needs to be meticulous.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to talk about specific protocols, like double-checking your entries, backing up your data, and storing everything securely.
For sure.
It shows that you're professional and responsible.
Right. Okay, so question 7 is all about your communication skills. How do you communicate with clients about artificial insemination procedures and their outcomes?
This job isn't just about animals. It's about people, too.
Yeah.
You have to be able to explain complicated stuff to clients in a way that makes sense, answer their questions patiently, and build good relationships with them.
Right. It's about being a good listener, being empathetic, and adjusting your communication style to fit each client. Now, a possible follow-up question here could be, how would you handle a situation where a client was unhappy with the outcome of a procedure?
That's a good one.
This tests your ability to deal with tough conversations, stay professional, and find solutions that address the client's concerns.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on to question number 8. This one's all about being organized and managing your time. How do you manage your time and prioritize tasks in a busy artificial insemination practice?
This is one of those questions you always get in interviews.
Right.
It's about how you handle a lot of work. They want someone who's organized, efficient, and can stay calm even when things get crazy.
Yeah, so how would you approach this question? What kind of examples could you give to really show those skills?
You could talk about using scheduling apps or to-do lists to keep track of appointments and deadlines.
Okay.
You could mention that you're good at delegating tasks or prioritizing urgent procedures, without losing attention to detail.
Yeah, it's about showing them that you can handle a lot of different things at the same time, but you're still doing good work and taking care of the animals.
Right.
Okay, so now let's go to another problem-solving question. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem with an artificial insemination procedure?
This is similar to the question about a difficult procedure, but this one's more about your technical skills and your ability to figure out and fix technical problems.
Right. It's about showing that you can critically analyze the situation and find solutions when things go wrong.
Exactly. Pick an example where you had a specific technical problem.
Okay.
Maybe a piece of equipment wasn't working right, or you had a semen sample that was difficult to work with, or maybe the animal had some weird anatomy.
Okay.
And explain how you figured out what was wrong and what you did to fix it.
Now, what if they follow up with something like, did you have to look up any resources or ask for help from someone more experienced?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's totally okay to say yes. It shows that you're willing to learn from other people and that you know when to ask for help.
Right.
You could mention specific resources that you use, like textbooks, scientific articles, or even experienced colleagues.
It's all about showing that you're resourceful and you want to find the best solution, even if it means asking for help.
Exactly.
Okay, on to the last question in this set. How do you ensure confidentiality and privacy when working with clients and their animals?
This is a really important question.
Yeah.
It's about ethics and being professional.
Right.
Interviewers want to know that you understand that the information you're dealing with is sensitive.
So what are some important things to talk about in your answer?
You could talk about specific things you do to protect client data.
Okay.
Like, using secure ways to store records, getting consent before you share anything, and following all the privacy rules.
Right. And it's important to say that you respect client confidentiality.
Yeah.
And that you would never share any private information about their animals or breeding practices.
Yeah, absolutely. Building trust with clients is super important in this field.
Yeah.
And part of that is showing them that you're committed to privacy and confidentiality.
Okay, so we've covered some of the common interview questions you might get.
Uh-huh.
But remember, RoleCatcher's interview guide goes into way more detail.
It does.
They explain what each question is really trying to find out.
Yeah.
Give tips for answering them, and even tell you what follow-up questions to expect.
And don't forget about those cool AI features we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers to specific job roles and give you personalized feedback to improve your answers.
That's like having a secret weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some career insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Okay.
This guide can give you a better idea of what your career path could look like and the different opportunities out there.
It's really good for understanding the different stages of your career, like from entry-level technician to more senior positions, and it talks about areas you can specialize in.
Yeah, like you could become a supervisor or specialize in a particular species or even move into a research role.
Exactly. And the guide also stresses how important it is to keep learning and developing professionally. Getting certifications like the Artificial Insemination certification or the Animal Reproduction Specialist certification can really help your career.
Right. It shows that you're committed to staying at the top of your field.
Yeah.
And that you're always learning and growing.
Going to conferences, workshops, and joining professional organizations can also be really valuable.
For sure.
You get to learn new things and network with people.
Networking is so important.
It is. It's often overlooked, but it can really help you move up in your career.
Yeah, meeting other people in the field can open up new opportunities, and you might even find a mentor.
Yeah.
And speaking of resources, let's go back to RoleCatcher's AI tools.
Okay.
These tools can be super helpful for making your resume and cover letter even better.
Yeah, the AI can analyze your documents and suggest improvements to highlight the skills and experience that are most relevant to the jobs you're applying for.
It's like having a personal career coach helping you create the perfect application.
Right, and the AI can also look at job descriptions and find keywords that you should use in your resume and cover letter to make them more appealing to employers.
So it's all about making sure you're showing your best self and presenting yourself in the most compelling way.
Exactly. But, you know, besides all the technical stuff about this job, there's another important thing to think about.
Okay.
And that's the ethical responsibility that comes with working in animal reproduction.
Right.
As an animal artificial insemination technician, you're going to be playing a role in shaping the future of animal populations and impacting animal welfare.
It's a big responsibility.
It is. You have to be mindful of the implications of your work.
Yeah, you need to be aware of how artificial insemination can affect things like genetic diversity, animal health, and the overall well-being of the animals.
Right.
It's about using these technologies in a responsible and ethical way to make sure animal populations are healthy and sustainable for future generations.
Exactly.
So this deep dive has given you a really good overview of how to prepare for your animal artificial insemination technician interview.
Yeah.
But there's one more thing we need to talk about.
Okay.
And that's the power of RoleCatcher's AI tools to help you fine-tune your answers and make them perfect for specific job roles. And so let's look more closely at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that extra edge in your interview prep.
Sure.
You mentioned earlier that it can analyze your answers and give you really tailored feedback. Can you kind of walk us through how that works?
Sure. It's actually really simple to use.
Okay.
Let's say you're practicing your answer to tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult animal.
Okay.
You type your answer into the AI tool and it analyzes it, taking into account the job you're going for.
So if I'm applying for a job at a research facility, the AI is going to focus on different parts of my answer than if I'm applying to work on a farm.
That's exactly it. The AI gets the differences between the roles.
Okay.
Like if you're going for a research position, it might tell you to emphasize your knowledge of scientific protocols or how good you are at delicate procedures.
Okay.
But if you're applying to a farm, it'll probably highlight your experience with livestock or your ability to work alone. That's
so cool. It's like having a custom feedback session for every job you apply for.
It really is. And the feedback isn't generic either.
Oh, okay.
It's specific to what you wrote.
Okay.
The AI can tell you where you're not being clear, where you need better examples, or where you could use stronger language.
Wow. So what are some other things the AI can do to help with interview prep?
It can help you figure out the key skills and experience they're looking for based on the job description.
Okay.
It can even help you rephrase your answers to emphasize those skills better.
So if the job description is really focused on experience with embryo transfer, the AI might tell me to use that keyword in my answer about a challenging procedure.
Exactly. The AI can help you make those connections between what you've done and what they want,
Okay.
making your answers more relevant.
It's like having a little AI recruiter telling me exactly what to say.
In a way it is, but remember, it's a tool to help you present yourself well,
Right.
not to make up a fake.
Yeah.
You still need to be yourself and show your passion for this work and your commitment to ethics.
Absolutely. The AI can help, but it's your realness and your values that'll impress them.
You got it.
Earlier, you mentioned that the AI can also look at resumes and cover letters.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that a bit more?
Sure, it can scan your documents for keywords and phrases that match the jobs you're interested in,
Okay.
making sure your applications stand out.
Oh.
It can also give you suggestions on how to make your documents better,
Okay.
like how to structure them, what to include, and how to tailor them to each job.
So it's all about presenting yourself in the best possible light and boosting your chances of getting an interview.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, if you're serious about becoming an animal artificial insemination technician, RoleCatcher seems like the way to go.
Yeah.
They give you the knowledge, the practice, and the AI tools to help you nail the interview and get your dream job.
But as you get ready for your interview and start this awesome career,
Yeah.
remember, it's not just about skills and getting the job. It's about being a responsible and ethical part of this field.
Right.
Your work will have a real impact on animal welfare and the future of animal populations.
That's such an important point. It's about using these technologies to make animals healthier, improve breeding practices, and make sure animal agriculture is sustainable.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, this deep dive has given you a ton of info about how to prepare for your animal artificial insemination technician interview and how RoleCatcher can help you along the way. Good luck with your interview, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.